Welcome back to Board Game Breakdown. I am Kristofer Solomon here with another video, and today we are going to be looking at the Fox experiment. So this is our long version of the video where we're going to go into full details on setup and how you take all your actions and multiplayer and everything like that. But if you want a shorter version just to kind of understand what Fox experiment is all about, go ahead and click this link here. You can have look at our burst version, which is going to be about 3 minutes or so, just kind of give you a rundown on the game. But if you are looking to understand how exactly the game fully plays, then stay right here for this video. So if you've seen anything about the Fox experiment, one of the things you probably saw was that it is designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, which is the same designer of Wingspan, which if you're anything into modern board gaming, you have at least heard of Wingspan, if not seen it or played it. So Fox Experiment is quite a bit different from Wingspan. So don't go into this thinking it's Wingspan version 2.0 or anything like that. It is quite a bit different, but it is a lot of fun and has a lot of cool mechanics going for it. There's a lot of dice, as you can see over here, that you're going to be kind of building up your dice pool, and you'll be trying to grab these parent Fox cards. There's some open card drafting between you and your opponents, and you're going to be grabbing these foxes and pairing them up, and then that will tell you which dice to roll. You roll the dice, and then you're going to be actually taking these dry erase cards here and a dry erase marker and doing some roll and write type action to actually breed your fox. And you're trying to make the friendliest, most well-bred fox out of your opponents. You'll do that over 5 rounds. There is also a solo version and a 2-player version that's slightly different, but this video here is going to mainly concentrate on the 3 to 4 player game, though you can do 5 to 6 player with an expansion. So before we go any further in the video, just want to remind everyone to please subscribe and go check out the website at boardgamebreakdown.com. We have a written review up of Fox Experiment if you'd rather read than watch, as well as videos and text reviews of all the other games that we've looked at. So without further ado, please welcome the Fox Experiment to Board Game Breakdown. Alright, welcome to the setup section of the Fox Experiment. I've already put a few things out, but I'll make sure to explain each of them as we go. But we are going to set this up for 3 players. If you set it up for solo or 2 players, there's a slightly different variation. I might talk about those at the very end of the video, but we're mostly going to concentrate on a 3-player game. 4-player is almost identical, so you'll really use this for most multiplayer games that you use while you're playing. So the first thing to notice is across this top, you'll see I've stuck the resources out. So the 4 tokens on the left side are the different traits. So you have the purple ones that are for the tails, the teal ones are for the barks, the red ones are like the spotting on the face, and the brown ones are for the ears. So we'll talk about those more as we get into the actual gameplay. Then on this right one to that, you have what's called a friendly trait. They're kind of like randoms, or not randoms, wilds. And then you have your victory point stars that you can gain for certain things. Here on the far left over here, you'll see a whole lot of dice. And they basically match up with the traits. So you got the teal, the red, the brown, the purple, and then you have friendly dice as well over there. So we'll be talking about those more. On the actual board, there's a few things that we've got out. So we have these tokens here with the gears on them. We're going to use those in each round, but you basically shuffle them up and stack them face down right there. To the left where it's red, that is the discard pile. Here you have these cards. I'm trying to remember what they're called now. They're the study cards. So we're going to shuffle these up, and I'll show you one side of them here. So it's kind of like a goal. We'll talk more about it, but it's really a way to focus kind of what type of foxes you're breeding for more points at the end of the game. So you'll just shuffle those up and put them right here. These small cards are like research cards. They're going to give you abilities and different things like that as you play. So you'll shuffle them up and put them there. And then over to the left, you have these like patron cards. So they are double-sided. They have an A and a B. So you'll shuffle them up and you'll pick 4. So choose those 4. The ones you don't need, you can put back in the boxes. You'll only use 4. And then you're going to just slot them into this left side over here. And the top 2 are going to be on the A side, and the bottom 2 are going to be on the B side. So A, and B. All right, so those 4 are going to stay all game, and we'll talk about them in a little bit. And then the last thing you're really going to do for the main board is over on the very, very, very far right over there. I have a deck of female parents and a deck of male parent cards. We're going to shuffle those out. We're going to put rows of them. And you're going to put the amount in each row that is 1 above the amount of players you have. So remember, we're doing a 3-player game, so we'll put out 4 cards. I want to show you one card real quick. So you'll see it has a artwork of a fox and then a name, and then it has a trait represented by a die. Now, I'm showing you this one because Pandasaurus misprinted these, and this one should have a brown die along with the purple die. So if that one comes up while you're playing, you might want to place a brown die on it so it does not get over missed. Or some people on the internet have printed out little stickers to put on it, but thanks to the designer who jumped on Board Game Geek and helped catch that there was a problem there. So please just make sure so that because all the parent cards are supposed to represent a certain amount of traits equally amongst them, and without that brown die, that one trait is not represented. So we're going to put out 4 of each of these over to the right. All right, so with that, we are basically done with the setup of the main board. Now we can look at what each individual person gets. So for this game, we are going to be playing as the teal people down here, but we're also going to be playing against a purple and yellow opponent, which are off to the side. But the first thing you want to grab is one of these individual player boards. So the boards are only single-sided, so you don't have to worry about making sure everyone's on the right side. And you'll see a bunch of different circles with different numbers, and we will get more into this, but this is a way to upgrade your breeding abilities throughout the game by using those trait tokens that are along the top there. So everyone's board is the same except for the colors. So you'll grab whatever one is in your color. You'll also grab the 10 fox meeples over here, and then this one gear in your color. That will come into play when we talk about your actions. So every player wants to grab those. You also want to grab a stack of cards for your foxes. On the other side are just blank foxes with the little grids that we'll be filling out. You want to get 1 friendly dice, so everyone starts off with one of those, so we'll stick that right there. And then you want to take your study cards to start out with. If you played this, it's recommended that you draw 3 and you pick 1. I'm just going to draw 1 for each person, and we'll just use those. So there's our study card, there's purples, there's yellows. We will be first player. First player gets no extra little help or anything, but second and third each get one of these friendly tokens. So I'm going to give 1 to purple and 1 to yellow. And off to the side they have their boards and their meeples and all that, so that I can use them as we play. So let's see, we've got our study card. So that is, oh, you also need a dry erase if I didn't say that. And you will also can get a player aid card here if you so choose, and throw that there. And then lastly, you will have a dry erase scoreboard little card here. You obviously don't need that until the end, but just showing you that. So that is set up. Oh, we have these purple diamonds up here that say first, second, and third. You will give those out at the beginning in whatever order players are taking. So the teal is going to take the first, and then purple will take second, and yellow will take third. And you do definitely need those because turns order is going to change throughout the game, and you're going to keep up with it using those. So I know a lot of games have, you know, a first player token that nobody ever uses, but you will need them in this game. So that is set up for a 3-player game. We will take just a minute and then jump right into the gameplay. I think it'll be easiest to work through a couple of rounds and talk through each section, and then we can play a couple of rounds for you to be able to see how it works. All right, give me a few minutes, I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We are going to jump right into the gameplay. So this game is played over 5 rounds, which you see marked right there. And then each round is made up of 4 phases, we'll call them. So we'll just work through each phase and kind of see how they work. At the beginning of each round, you are going to take these little gear tokens and you're going to place them out to the right, depending on how many players you have. So you'll see the very first spot has a red X or red slash. You will not ever place a gear token there, but we are going to place some to the right of that. So we'll put 2 there. And then the next space is labeled 1 to 3 player, and the last space is 2 to 4. So depending on who you're playing, how many people you're playing with, you'll fill those up. So because we have 3 players, we're going to fill up that next one. And these are going to have different traits or cards on them that when you select those spots, you will be rewarded with those things. All right, so that will happen at the beginning of each round, not each phase. So that is done. So now for the first phase, and some of these phases are done back and forth, and some phases are done all simultaneously. So listen out for that. But the first phase we're going to look at is the selection phase. So I'll grab our little player aid here. And so the selection phase, sorry if I'm a little wobbly, you can do one of each of those actions printed on the left side: male parent, female parent, or supply track. You can do them in any order, but you'll take turns going back and forth and doing at least one of those. So what do those 3 things mean? So the 2 parent cards, the male and female, you're basically going to select one of these cards over here and just take it and put it next to your board. So you can see that clearly the person picking earlier in the turn is going to have a better odds on maybe getting something like this that has the 3 dice, which is going to give you more abilities to breed a better fox. So how do you handle turn order? How do you get, Mr. Yellow over here that's in third place? He doesn't always want to be in third turn. So that is where the supply track comes in. So remember, there's three things you can do: get a parent card, male or female, or do the supply track. What the supply track means is you're going to take your gear, and you're going to put it on one of those spots up there, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and that is going to allow you to either not take anything or take one of the bonuses. But when we get ready for the next round, whoever has the gear to the furthest is going to become first player next turn. So the way that works is basically, if you definitely want first place, you go here with your gear, and you won't get any bonuses, but you will be insured to get first place, or first place in the turn next go around. Maybe you don't care about the turn order that much. You could take your gear and maybe go here, collect these two things, and now someone, or at least one person, will be ahead of you. Maybe purple goes there and yellow goes there, and you become second place in the second round. So, whoops, I think I hit the camera, sorry. So it really just depends on, you kind of got to gauge the dice you have and all sorts of those things. So let's talk about picking parent cards. Your study card is going to really have a lot to do with that. So if you look at this right here, the study card for this one has all 4 traits listed, but you see a lot of browns and a lot of teals. So to complete this study, it is telling us we need to breed foxes that have quite a few brown traits and teal traits, and it doesn't care so much about the other traits. So when I'm picking parent cards this round, I might want to find things that have brown dice and teal dice. It's not going to be that helpful right now to get purples and reds. Now you might need those later on. You also are eventually going to probably get more study cards, so you'll want to have a variety of traits. But for right now, we want to get some foxes bred that are going to meet this criteria. So I'm going to move this stuff over real quick because we're going to need room to place our fox cards. So we'll move these. All right, so for my first turn, I am going to choose, like I said, I want teal and brown. So I'm going to take this parent, and you're going to put your parent cards over here to the left of your board. All right, so now we'd go around to purple. And let's say purple wants to grab Vera. And then yellow goes, and yellow is really upset that they're in third, so they are going to just grab their gear and go ahead and get an earlier turn for next round. So they're going to go in the second spot. And because they went there, they're going to grab whatever is shown on here. So they're going to get a research card, and they're going to get a brown token. So this will get discarded. They'll get a research card, which we'll look at shortly, and a brown token. The tokens will come into play in a small amount of time, so you'll understand why you're picking those. But I'm going to show you this research card here. So it basically says, after rolling a pup, mark +1 purple to this pup. So that makes no sense to you right now, but as you can see, these research cards kind of give you a one-time ability. Sometimes it's an all-game ability that might be less powerful. They also give you a point at the end of the game for each one that you have not used, because when you use them, you're going to basically discard them there. So if you get research tokens or cards, you don't want to spend them. Cool, keep them for the end of the game, so they get more points. Okay, so we're back around to teal. So I cannot take a male parent. Remember, you can take male parents, female parents, or turn order. So I'm going to grab a female parent because I want the browns and the teals. We'll have purple. Go ahead and grab a turn order. And she wants to take this last spot. And not only does she get a purple trait and a red trait, she's also going to get a friendly token because you see it marked there at the bottom. So she's going to grab all three of those things. I smashed the arm of the camera, so sorry for that shakiness right there. So she's gotten all that. Yellow's up, so he would like to grab this card. It's back around to me, so I've gotten both parents, so all I can do is take a turn order. So I will use my gear and grab this last one here. So I get a teal and a brown trait. The only thing that purple can do is now take a male. And then yellow has to take a female. All right, so that is the selection phase. Before we go to the breeding phase, you can do upgrades here on your board using your tokens, but you're not going to be able to do that after the very first. I guess you could, but it's pretty rare after this very first selection that you'd be able to do that. So let's talk about that. There's another chance to upgrade after breeding or after researching, and we will go over it then. So we're going to go to phase 2, which is the breeding phase. Now, this phase is done all together, so everyone's going to do this simultaneously. So I'm going to just concentrate on it for this teal group of people over here, because I don't want to do it for purple and yellow, but you can pretend that that is happening at the same time. So I'm going to grab our player rate again so we can look at what it says about breeding. So it says roll and record traits and then record your friendliness. So that's easy enough. So what you will need is you'll need one of your foxes. So you'll just pull the top fox off of your deck of cards over here. So we've got this lady here. So she will go there. You're going to look at your dice from your parents and you're going to grab all those dice. So we need 2 browns and 2 teals. You also want to remember in the friendly dice that you have, so remember you start out with 1, but there are ways as you upgrade here to get more friendly dice, so we'll talk about that shortly. But you're going to just roll these dice, and then we will discuss what that does. All right, so I'm going to put them kind of in groups here. All right, so there's a couple different things on the dice. There are sides that are a full symbol, so like that. And each dice has a different symbol. So if you were like colorblind, you could reference the symbols, not the colors. But all of them have a couple sides, or one side at least, that has a full symbol on it. Some of them have half symbols. Some of them have full and half symbols. And then some of them have 2 different halves. And it's the same as the other colors and the friendly tokens. So what you're going to try to do is you want to try to make full symbols of your dice. So like if we look at teal, we've got one full symbol and then we have a half. We'll come back to that half. For our browns, we have a full and a half, and then we can take this half and pair it up with that half. So now we have two full browns, and then we have a half. So we're left with this half friendly. So we could take that and we could match it up with the teal and basically have two teals and then 1, 2 and a half browns, which is two browns because halves don't count. Or we could go here and we could say now we have one teal, because again the half doesn't count, and we have 1, 2, 3 full browns. So again, we could reference our study card, and you'll see that we really want browns more than we do teals. So we're going to keep it like this. Also, if you have the friendly tokens, so unlike the friendly die, which you're going to keep the whole time, if you had a friendly token, you could take this and you could match it up, say there. But when you do that, at the end of this round, you're going to discard that token. So you don't keep these forever. They go away. The friendly dice you do keep. So keep that in mind. But once you have your dice figured out the way you want to do it, you are then going to record the traits on your fox card. So let's look at a card. Okay, hopefully the glare from the light, since these are dry erase cards, and we're getting into the roll and write portion of the game. Hopefully the glare is not too bad, but you'll see at the bottom you have your 4 traits, and then you have squares and circles. So for this part, we're going to fill left to right, and you're going to put X's on squares and dots on the circles. And they don't, as far as filling them out, it doesn't really matter. We're not going to really differentiate between the squares and the circles. Basically, we just want to count these up, and however many full symbols you have, you're going to mark those. So remember, teal, we have 1 there. We have a half, and half does not count. So we get to mark off 1 teal. Then we look at our browns, and we have 1, 2, 3, because we used our friendly. So we're going to mark off 3 spots on the brown. So you'll see now that we've marked off 3 brown spots, we've marked off 1 teal spot. Again, we don't care if they're X's or circles as far as the boxes and stuff go at the moment. We just want to make all those marks. So as the game progresses, you're going to get more and more dice, which might allow you to get more and more traits bred into your foxes. So your foxes should become better bred as you move along. And I bring that up because you'll see at the end of each line there are these little stars. So if you ever get to the point where you actually get to mark more than 5, then for the 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever amount you have to mark, you're going to actually get those little star victory points. So up to 5 traits get marked on a row, and then you can start scoring points. All right, so the last part of breeding is to record the friendliness, and that's strictly just however many marks you put on the fox card all together. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we did 4, and we were going to put their friendliness. We're going to put their friendliness up there in the right-hand corner. We can also name our fox now if we want to. My daughter, who likes to help with this, likes to make them a mixture of the parents' names. So we'll call this Mech Hawk. Sure, that's a great name for a fox. I obviously don't have to do the names, but it makes a fun little creative way to do it. And so each player would do those all at the same time. You know, I'm not going to do it for the purple and yellow, but you could pretend that you did them. I'm just going to, here, I'll fake two of them real quick so that you can see how the friendliness works. So for purple, we'll say that, let's say he rolled a lot of dice. So we'll say purple gets a purple spot, a teal, and 3 reds. So he got to mark 5 things, so his friendliness is 5 in the top right hand corner, and we'll call him Gizmo. And then yellow had a really bad roll. We'll say he only got 2 purples and a brown, so his friendliness is 3. And we'll call him Trash Can, because he's garbage, basically. Alright, so we've done the breeding, which was to roll the dice, record our traits, and then record the friendliness. Alright, so the third phase, which we also do simultaneously, is called research. And you're going to look at your study card that we had, or study cards, and then we're going to collect tokens, and then we're going to upgrade. So if we look at our study card, you're going to see 3 different levels, and you can tell them by, they're separated by vertical columns and the stars at the bottom. So each fox, each round, can only complete 1 column on 1 card. So you can't build or breed like an awesome fox that allows you to just run rampant on your study card and complete it in one go. They have a limit of 1 level for each card. But what you're going to do is you're going to look at your study card. And so this first one, we need 2 browns and a teal. And we're going to check and see if our fox meets that criteria. And they do, because they have 3 browns, so as long as you have more than what's listed, and we have a teal. So Mechhawk here met our level 1 of our study, so we're going to take one of our little fox meeples and we're going to stick it there on the first level to know that we've already studied and completed that level. And then if we were to finish the game right now, we would get 2 points. Okay, so if you had, eventually you can make more than 1 fox at a turn. If we had another fox, we could go ahead and apply it to a different study or 1 more level of that study. But again, you cannot make 1 fox do multiple studies or multiple levels of a study. Now we're going to collect tokens, and the tokens are going to be for every circled spot. You're going to get 1 of those tokens. So we will get 1 brown token. I have no other circles, so I'll grab a brown token. Again, if you had multiple foxes, because you can eventually upgrade to breed multiple ones, you are not going to count every circle that you have, because that will be a ton of tokens. What you would do is you would compare each row. So if I had 1 circle here on this brown row and my other fox I bred had 2, I would get 2, because that's the highest of that. So you'll compare each color and you'll take the highest amount instead of scoring all of those. So you'll give out tokens to everybody, and then you can upgrade if you so choose. So the way you upgrade is on your board here, you'll see there are 2 equals, 2 equals, same with this. Eventually over here it's 3 equals, and then some of these are, or all these are 5 equals. So what that's saying is you have to have 2 of the same trait to place here or here to unlock that. Once you've unlocked this, you can move over to the left. So what do these different things do? So the top row here, actually I'm going to move these off so you can see it better. I'll move it up here. All right, so that top level of the teal color is the foxes, and that allows you to breed more than one fox each turn. So you could breed up to 3 foxes per round if you unlocked both this and this. If you unlock the third one, you just get 5 points at the end of the game. The second row is the way you get more studies. So each time you fill one of those up, you get to grab 2 studies and choose which one. So having multiple studies allows you to apply multiple foxes to the studies and hopefully get more points. The third row with the dice is every time you fill that up, you get another friendly dice, which is very, very helpful. And then the third row, or the last fourth row with the handshakes, when you unlock those, you are able to take a fox meeple and place it on one of these patrons over here. And then at the end of the game, well, one, you get a research card. Oh, you know what I did not do? Wow. This should have been set up. I'll make a note. But you're supposed to put these out by the patrons. And these don't go away. It basically, if I upgrade a patron and I say, well, I want to use him, then I get a research card. I get any sort of trait token I want. And then at the end of the game, I'm going to get a point for every red trait token I have down here. Now, anyone else can put they can unlock this and put a meeple here, and they get to do this and that as well. It's not like first come, first serve, but you don't pick these up. They stay for the whole game. And you can put as many foxes, well, I guess you can unlock it 3 times. 1, 2, 3 down here on your card, so you could use 3 of those patrons. So let's look at my tokens. I have 1 teal and 2 brown. So I could go ahead and use those 2 brown, and I think I will. You take both of them, but you take one and you place it on whichever spot you want to upgrade, and the other one you just put away. So I'm going to use it there, and I'm going to get another friendly dice. So now when I roll, I will always use 2 friendly dice moving forward. So everyone does that. Everyone collects their tokens. If they want to upgrade, they upgrade. If you don't want to upgrade, great. And then the last phase is the administration phase. So it's kind of like a cleanup phase, but there's a couple things that you're going to do. So there's the card on it. So the first thing we're going to do is clear the previous fox generation. So over here on the left side, whichever cards did not get chosen, you're going to just move them to like a discard pile. So get those guys out of here. You're going to, let's see, number 2, new pups to kennel. So you're basically the ones that you have created are now going to come up here and become parents. So she's a female, so she will go there, and then we're going to grab our purple and yellows that we faked. And we're going to place them in their rows. So we made 2 females and 1 male. So we'll put those. We're now going to check the friendliness rank. And so remember, that is the number in the top right hand corner. So whoever had the friendliest fox, which this time was purple, they get to place a fox meeple here. So that keeps track of the rounds, but also keeps track of the friendliness. And you'll see the friendliest person at the end of the game will get 2 points. The people who did not get the friendliest fox as a reward, a consolation prize, they get a friendly token. So we've given out the friendliness awards. We're now going to fill the rest of the kennel. So remember, we have to fill back up to 4. So we'll use the parent decks to do that. We're going to reset the turn order. So if you'll remember what our gears were in place up there. So we're going to look at the leftmost, which is yellow. And so yellow is going to take the first place person and his yellow gear back. I, as the teal player, am going to take my gear and second, and then purple goes last and third. You're going to refill the little track, much like we did at the beginning of the game. And then at that point, you're going to get rid of your parents. When I cleared the previous generation, you want to get rid of the parents on there too. All right, so then you would start the next round. So it's going to be very similar to what we just did, but I do want to point out a few things. Now, the pups that we just made, they are now available to be parents. So if I were to grab Gizmo, let's say, let's look at Gizmo. When you grab the dice during breeding, you're going to grab however many X's are marked. You're not going to pay any attention to the circles. So for Gizmo, Gizmo is going to give me a purple dice, a teal dice, and 2 red dices, because there's those 2 X's. So you can see as you breed foxes that give more dice, then they're going to come up here to the parent area, and they're going to give more dice to whoever selects them, which is why the turn order is so important. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So I did that wrong over on the right side when I cleared those 2 parents that were not chosen. You want to keep them out there. You only want to clear the parents from your board. And the reason for that being is eventually, let's pretend Gizmo, the purple fox male down there, doesn't get chosen. You're not going to get rid of him because eventually a female purple card might come out. Purple player might breed a female, and then when you move forward, if someone chooses both a female and male of the same, basically from the same breeder, then that's considered inbred, and inbreeding causes a deficiency, and I don't remember exactly what you lose right now. I'll put it up in the little scroll bar here. But there is a penalty for using foxes of the same breeder. So you want to watch out for that. So that was one round. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just play through one more round without quite as much talking so we can get through it and you can kind of just see how it works again. So we'll get rid of our dice here. All right, and then we will start with first player who this time is yellow, remember. Yellow really likes the way Gizmo looks, so he's going to grab her or him. And I'm next, and remember my study, I really want to get lots of brown dice. Let's see. I'll go back and get my female that I bred the first go around. And then purple is going to grab the 2 purple. It's back to yellow. Yellow is going to grab Rustlin here. I'm going to take the turn order, and I'm going to grab this so that I can get another friendly trait. Back to purple. Purple's going to get, let's see, a female, so she's going to grab trash can. Yellow already has both parents, so it has to pick a trait or a turn order. Yellow's going to go with that first spot because it really likes going first. Put that here. I've already picked a female and I've picked the turn order, so I have to do a male. There's only one male left, Jules Bar, so I'm stuck with it. Which is okay because I need brown dice. And then purple has both of its parents, and so it has to pick a turn order. So it will go here, which will give it 2 research cards and a friendly trait. So 1, 2. And the friendly trait. So remember, now we are going to move to the breeding, which everyone does simultaneously. So we'll look over here at our parents. So remember, you're going to count the X's for dice. So I'm going to get 1, 2, 3 brown dice. I'm going to get 1 teal dice. I'm going to get 1 red dice. Then I also have my friendly dice. And I have my friendly traits that I'm going to be able to use if I need. So I'm going to roll all the dice and group them up. All right, so if we look at our study card down here, remember that I've done the first level. The second level wants 4 browns and 1 teal. So that would be a nice thing to be able to do. So let's look at our browns first. So we have 1, we have 2.5, so we'll put the half there. So 1, 2, 3, and we have another half, which we could use this dice. So that will ensure that we have our 4 brown. We only need 1 teal, which we have right here. We have a half of a red, which isn't much good, so we can use one of our traits there for the other half. And then we have a friendly die that is a full symbol, which means you could use that for anything. So, you know, I'll use it for brown since I am going to want to make someone that has breed a fox that has a lot of browns, because that will only help me in the next round. And then, you know, I'm going to place that there with this one so I can get 2 teals. So I'm going to draw my card, this guy, and then let's start marking down things. So I don't have any purples, so I'm not going to mark anything on the purples. My browns, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 symbols. So we will mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll look at our teals. We have 1, 2. 1, 2. Remember, we have to discard our friendly trait token after we've used it. And then if we look at our reds, we have 1. All right, so we have our fox here. Let's count up how many spots we've covered all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 is its friendly score, and we're going to name it. Let's see, what should we name it? Bart. It'll be named Bart. All right, so we've got that. So the breeding is done. We've rolled the traits, we've marked them, and we've recorded our friendliness. So now we're going to look at our study. So again, we needed 1, 2, 3, 4 browns and 1 teal. We did that, so we can move our fox to the second level. So we are going to get at least 5 points at the end of the game for this study. We are going to collect our tokens. So we'll collect 2 brown tokens, 1 teal token, because those are our circles that we've marked. And we're going to do upgrades if we want. So this is nice because we have matching teal and we have matching brown, so we can use them in places. So, you know, I think I'm going to use my teal ones here. So I'll put 1 teal one there and turn the other one away, which means we can place a fox on one of these spots over here. to use. So I think I'm going to use this top one, which gives us 2 points for every 2 traits on our board at the end of the game that are next to each other that are the same color. And I'll get 1 research card, and I'll get 1 teal trait. And then remember, we also have 2 browns. So I'm going to place that here and get another die. And that will also help us, as now we have 2 browns next to each other. So we'll score at least 2 points for that patron card up there. And then our research card, just so you can see it. So after rolling a pup, which is what we did where we rolled the dice, we could play that and be able to mark an additional brown. So maybe we really want to do this study card over here on the next turn, but we only roll 4 browns. We could turn this in and mark the 5th one. So it's kind of like a free brown that we can choose to do. All right, so we move on to the administration once everybody has done the breeding and researching. So we clear the previous fox generation. So again, remember, that's only these over here. We leave the people or the fox parents out that didn't get chosen. We would put all the pups out. So I didn't do them for the yellow and purple, but you would place them out. We'll pretend we did so. We'll check the friendliness. We'll say, oh, Bart here is the highest at 7. So I would get to stick a fox there. And you'll see as you go, the more points you're going to get. So the friendliness number definitely ramps up. We're going to fill the kennel up again. So we have all of our parents filled up. We can get rid of these dice. Remember, your friendly dice do not get thrown away. You're going to keep them back on your board. We're going to reset the turn order. So yellow is again first. I am again second. Purple is again third. So we would not change in that. And then we're going to refill that supply. And we would be ready again for round 3. So you see how that works. Hopefully you're going to basically be getting a lot more dice. So by the 5th round, you're going to have a whole slew of dice to roll and to figure out. You're going to be unlocking more of your board to hopefully make it so you can make 2 foxes at a time. And when you do that, the way that works is you're going to roll the dice. You're going to completely fill in a fox. Then you're going to roll all those dice again and completely fill in a second fox. Then you will do your studies and everything that we did as normal. But that's the way that works. And then both of your foxes, whoever has the highest friendliness, that's the one you're going to use to judge this. But all of your foxes you make are going to go up into that zone up there to choose from for the next time. I did mention solo and 2-player being slightly different, so I won't go into great detail on that. Here you can just read the rule book, but basically what happens is there is an AI. So for when you play 2-player, there's an AI that strictly just takes up parent cards. So you use this little deck of cards, an Automa deck, and you turn the cards over and it tells you the AI is choosing the rightmost female. And so you would stick a little fox of a different color on there to show that you can't take that. So they basically just take up foxes and they take up a turn order trait or a turn order thing up there. And then whichever fox they pick, you put additional dice on it to kind of simulate them creating a pup. Now, if you do a solo version of this game, not only are you creating these, you are also taking, you're really playing quite a bit for the AI and you're gonna be marking down whole cards for the AI and comparing them to yours. So if you really like the aspect of this game where you get to roll and write, you're going to really like the solo because you get to do a ton of those. But if you're not a fan of that, I probably would skip this from a solo perspective, as it's a lot of bookkeeping and a lot of marking down the cards for the opponent, and it feels a little bit like a slog. I don't mind the two-player because the AI goes really quick and it just takes up resources, but the solo is a little bit hard to get into. But hopefully that has given you a good idea of the Fox experiment, so that you can choose if it is right for you. Check out the website at boardgamebreakdown.com, where we have other videos and text reviews up. Check us out on Instagram and Mastodon. Leave us some comments, let us know what you think. And again, thank you for watching.